Not being paid for this. This is
Nope.
something that you are doing for wild horses, domestic horses as well. All horses are going to benefit. Everything that we do, we're hoping will educate people, perhaps a call to action, give them something that they can actually do and participate in making a difference for horses in this country.
Right.
And the biggest thing that we need to concentrate on now that we've got, I look at this as a band,
Most
just
things
another
on the radio
band,
show.
is defunding the money to cover the cost of meat inspection, which is basically what they've
All the way
defunded.
down.
We need to get the Safe Act passed.
Right, exactly. As a matter of fact, that seems to be, Shannon, the main thrust of all the advocacy groups nationwide right now. You know, they're saying, Eddie, when you go back, here's my message. You know, I want you to carry back regarding the SAFE Act. And also, a lot of the advocacy groups here in Nevada have asked me to absolutely attend any and every county meeting that I possibly can as well on their behalf, because, you know, Shannon, and I'm going to defer to Terry Farley on this one, a lot of things happening in Nevada as well.
There are. I got back last night from Southern Nevada, and we have a chance to do something amazing. There is bipartisan support for an Ice Age national park in just 20 minutes off the strip of Las Vegas. And a lot of people do come to Las Vegas for conferences, not just to stay in the casinos, no offense, casinos. And they want to see more about what's going on in our state. And it looks like there's a place called Tule Springs. And if you want to go on to Protectors of Tule Springs, this land is a gold mine of Ice Age fossils. They've been able to determine that this may in fact be the birthplace of the horse. It was grazing along with antelope, with giant sloths, and camels. And they were being stalked by dire wolves and saber-toothed cats and American lions, which are as tall as I am, but quite a bit heavier. And they have found all these fossils. That land was planned as a freeway to run parallel to 215, if you know Las Vegas. And they had already put in the off-ramp names. 3 women stopped it, and we may be known as the birthplace of the horse.
Oh my God, this is
Wow.
prehistoric.
This is prehistoric Ice Age fossils and bones. I saw a fragment of mammoth bones.
And you know what I love, Terry? This absolutely is in keeping with so many author friends we have and friends of the advocacy groups who said, you know what? You know, it's not true what you read in the history books. The Spanish did not bring them, unless, of course, they came over in the Ice Age, right there. You better believe. All right, now, I tell you what's really exciting. Joining Terry Farley, Shannon Wendell of Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund, we have our regular co-host, okay? And I tell you what, I like it because it's Joanne Spotted Bear, a Lakota from Pine Ridge Reservation. So in your native tongue, how?
How cola?
How cola? Cola means friend, my friend.
Yes, like Coca-Cola.
Like Coca-Cola. How cola?
How, yeah, how.
All right, well, welcome to the set now. I'm really excited, Shannon, because I'm looking forward to this caller, your first caller of today. And so you want to give a little introduction for our listeners around the world?
Yes, thank you so very much. We are very honored and proud to have Carolyn Moore from the ASPCA calling in today. And Carolyn, are you there? Are you on the line?
I am, yes. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for calling today. We are so excited about the news coming out of Washington defunding. We know that we have tons of work to do. Can you start out by telling us a little bit about yourself and the ASPCA and what's going on?
Absolutely. Well, to let you know what it is I do, I am a federal legislative manager for the ASPCA's government relations team that's based here in D.C. And what that basically means is I work on a number of issues, animal issues, dealing with federal legislation and the forced slaughter issue the SAFE Act and the funding limitation, the defund amendment that was in the Agriculture Appropriations Bill and the Omnibus Bill that just passed this past week are two of my major priorities. And those are two major priorities for the ASPCA, and we're very, very happy to be working on that issue with so many other advocates and groups that have just been so committed to this, and we're so excited to celebrate with everyone about the exciting news with the passage of the omnibus this past week, and the way that
You
will
got a standing ovation, standing
all
ovation.
of us to continue the effort to see the SAFE Act passed to finally, ultimately ban horse slaughter, not just here, but also the export of our horses abroad.
You know, Carolyn, I'm going to jump in right now. Thank you for, again, bringing that up here on Mustang Matters. And also, I've said before, thank you so much for everything ASPCA does, you know, for us around this wonderful nation of ours. But also, I wanted to let you know that within 10 days, 2 weeks, representing several advocacy groups, both in Nevada, Wyoming, Washington, Utah, and also now Oregon, I plan to be there. And if you can help me open a few doors, I promise I'll split a cheeseburger with you in Washington, D.C.
I bet she's a vegetarian.
Look forward to seeing you. Absolutely.
Well, that's absolutely wonderful. And if you don't mind, before we get back on the horses, in honor of you, Carolyn, and everything you're doing there, real quick, if you don't mind, let's personalize the show a little bit. Where were you born, educated, and what led you to the ASPCA?
Oh, sure. Well, I am originally from Louisville, Kentucky, born and raised. I grew up there, went to school at a small college in Kentucky, ended up going to law school up in Maine, at the University of Maine, and was studying animal law and environmental law up there. And honestly, the way that I first got to this was I ended up volunteering with a wild horse sanctuary out in California after my first year of law school.
Wow.
Green Texas Wild Horse and Burro Sanctuary
Yes.
is the name of it. And
Yes.
it was there while I was basically a farmhand, pitching bales of hay, fixing fences, helping to care for some of the elder horses that were there, that I first learned about the wild horse issue. And that was back in 2008, which you may recall was when they were considering mass euthanasia at the time. They had announced that BLM had announced that as a possibility, and there was a huge uproar. And I'd never heard of that issue, and that really just shocked me and struck me as something that I could start looking into. And so I ended up doing a major paper on that issue while I was in law school, and then while I was also in school, I was able to work on an animal health write an appellate brief on a cruelty case involving horses in Maine, which we won, which was fantastic. And those cases kind of formulated to where I kind of got this niche on the horse issue, at least from the policy and legal side. So that ultimately led me to DC to work on animal issues, and that's where I am today, very, very happily working on these issues with the ASPCA. It's been a wonderful ride.
Well, I have to say that we are really happy that you're there as well. Those are your priorities, you said, and you're doing a darn good job. You're getting everything rolling in Washington, and that's what we so desperately need. What we're looking for is to guide people to help you to put pressure on the representatives in Washington to get this, to take the Band-Aids off and finally close that ugly, horrible wound by passing the SAFE Act. Can you tell us
It's
about
so
what
kind of
we
you to
can
say.
do?
I really have to give my hat, take my hat off to all of you and all of the listeners that have been advocating for this issue for so long. I mean, our job is to try and carry the voices that are out there. We commissioned a poll in last year, 2012, finding that since the horse slaughter plants closed in the U.S., opposition to horse slaughter had risen by 10% since the previous poll, up to 80%. 80% of American voters oppose horse slaughter for human consumption now, and I think that
Yes.
that 80% has done such an incredible job making their voices heard. They've just been relentless. It's been amazing. The horses have really wonderful advocates on their side with this issue, and it really showed, the fact that people just would call their congressman time and again, making sure they knew about making sure they knew about the agriculture appropriations vote, making sure making sure that their members knew it was still in there and that they wanted them to fight for it, making sure that when the omnibus happened that they continued to fight for it. I mean, every step of the way, the voices were heard, and we're so glad to be a part of that, to be able to be a part of that here on the ground. It really is a collective effort, and you're so right that what we need now is to continue channeling those voices to really what we see as what's now essentially a loophole in the law. I mean, the way we see it, Congress has spoken, Congress has heard the 80% that oppose forced slaughter, and really what they need to do now is just take that final step and just end the export. They've made it clear that they've heard what the American public feels on this issue, and now we just need them to cross the final, take that final step to finally end it entirely. And I think that now is the time to really make that push.
Thank you so much, Carol. And this is Terry Farley. Hi. And
Hi.
You've experienced it yourself. Once people see horses, like wild horses, like you did at Dreamcatcher, their hearts just get carried away, and they see that there's something that perhaps doesn't have a financial value, but it has a much greater value. And once they see those horses, it all changes. I saw that again this weekend in Southern Nevada. People who've lived there for years didn't know they had the Cold Creek herd just 40 minutes from the Strip, and now their whole world has changed because of those horses.
Absolutely. It's the work that you are doing is precious to all of us. Thank you. We need to be a huge squeaky wheel and roll it all into Washington. How can we help?
You better believe it. Now, Joanne, you wanted to say a couple words before we...
Yes, I
do. Go ahead, okay?
Okay, can you hear me?
Go ahead, if you don't mind, Joanne.
Okay, Carolyn, right?
Carolyn?
Yes, Carolyn. Hi, this is Joanne Spotted Bear. I just had a question.
Absolutely.
After you round this up and close it up and save the horses, I'd like to know what you're going to do about Sue Wallace, because I definitely feel that she violated the Indian treaties, and I feel that she needs to be fired and charges of treason needs to be
And you know what I'm
against
going to
her.
do, Joanne, just so that we can take advantage of time here, I'm going to actually be talking to Carolyn in Washington, D.C. about this when she's kind enough to split that cheeseburger with me.
Yes, all right.
And Carolyn,
And fries.
and fries too. Don't worry, I'll blow the budget on you, Carolyn. Fries.
Are
and
you
a
gonna
cheese-
get to drink?
And also, I want to thank you for being a part of Mustang Matters. I also would like to take this opportunity to let you know you gave me hope too. You gave me personal hope, because now that I'm out there with my wife at the Wainema Ranch mending fence and shoveling horse manure, there's hope I might wind up at the ASPCA someday like you.
There you go.
All right, hey girl, thanks for calling in. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say one final thing I just want to mention. I think it might have been Terry who said it, but the one important piece for people to know is just how they can help. And I think that continuing to calling is the most effective thing you can do to reaching out to your personal legislators, your representative and your two senators, indicating that you want them to co-sponsor or continue to support the SAFE Act. Is by far the best thing you can do. Calling, you can sign up for action alerts and send emails to them as well. And then also you can raise the level of awareness in your own community by writing letters to the editor. Right now, there's going to be tons of press about the passage of the omnibus, and this is a perfect time to write letters to the editor, making sure people know what has happened, that the funding limitation was in there, and that now we need to see the SAFE Act passed. That's a great way to raise profile in your own community. If your members of Congress have town hall meetings, a lot of them are at home this week. If your representatives have town hall meetings, you can go and make your voice heard there. It's just continuing to think creatively about ways to get the message out there.
You know, Carolyn, I also want you to do this as we say goodbye to you. Again, thank you so much for being an integral part of Mustang Matters. You truly do matter to us. I also want you at your convenience to check out America Matters Media, where Debbie has posted you and everything that you're doing on our behalf here when it comes to our American heritage, the wild horses and burros nationwide. And I look forward to sharing that cheeseburger with you in Washington.
And
Thanks
fries.
so much. It'll be great to meet you.
All right, Carolyn, remember it's Eddie, E-D-D-I-E, at americamatters.us. That's Eddie at americamatters.us, and then you and I'll coordinate that. Shannon?
Thank you so much, Carolyn, for calling in, and I just want to say how easy you make it at www.aspca.org. Right on your main page, right in the very middle is a picture of a beautiful white horse. A link right underneath that where people can take action, get more information. Get out there, get on your PCs, and speak for these horses. Keep that squeaky wheel rolling. You don't want any oil.
You better believe it. Hey, again,
Thank
Carolyn.
you so much, Carolyn.
Thank you so much for calling in. Listeners, this is Mustang Matters. Now, Carolyn called in from Washington, D.C. She called 855-790-8255. Going back now to Shannon Wendell of Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund, president there, because it looks like another very special guest is called Mustang Matters.
Absolutely. I think we have Rick Unger out of Colorado on the phone. Rick, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Thank you so much for calling in, Rick. This is Rick Unger. He is
Mustang Matters
an
radio show.
incredibly interesting artist with a plan. Rick, can you tell us a little bit about yourself
It's gonna be a little while. It's
how
gonna be
you
a little
came
while.
to
I'll be chilling.
this
I'll
show,
chilling
Mustang
online.
Matters?
They just started with a new guest.
Well,
Give me-
I'm an artist. I've painted wild horses in the past, and now I'm kind of on a mission to paint wild horses from all over the country. And I connected with Sharon Carlo years ago, and she's done some articles on me and so forth in her Horse Sales magazine, and she had contact.
Okay, Rick, if you would, are you calling us on a cell phone?
I am.
Okay, be real still. Once we get good connection like we have right now,
Okay.
be real still.
do?
Don't walk around, don't stir that soup on the stove or anything like that. Just stay in one location so that we don't lose you again. But no, we heard basically everything that you just said, and you were talking about, obviously, no stranger and a dear friend of our American heritage, the horses and burros, Sharon DeCarlo of Horse Tales.
Correct.
And you have a plan, I understand.
Yeah, tell us about that plan here on Mustang Matters, Rick.
Yes, the plan, that I wanted to get to that. Well, I got okay from Lacey J. Dalton on this, and some of the paintings I'm doing, and prints are going to start going on sale next week on a website that I'm going to try to get launched this weekend. And print sales, 50% of what I get out of print sales will be going to save the wild horses. And of course, I invite all organizations throughout the country to put the link on their website that will take people to this website. But I've been doing, naming some of these after song. And I talked to her, I think it was just yesterday, to get an okay. And I'm going to paint a painting titled Let 'Em Run, where she wrote a song called Let 'Em Run. And what I want to do is, it's hard for me to get pictures because I'm not out photographing pictures. I can't come out here to Reno and different areas. And so many people are shooting pictures of these horses. What I am doing is people that will send me or email me pictures that they think would make a big painting. Then I receive those by mail or by email. And I want with whoever sends me one that fits Let 'Em Run, I will give them a print of that painting when I've completed, a 27-inch by 36-inch print, and I'm going to artist enhance that print.
Wow.
So they will kind of have a painting, even though it won't be an original painting, but it will be enhanced by paint, and I'll send that to them. That would be the winner of that painting, or that print.
Wonderful.
And I got a time period because I want to get pictures in, and I want to announce that on March 12th. I looked at the calendar, and I'm assuming that every Wednesday you have a show, and I can announce the winner of that.
Absolutely.
Get them sent that print.
You know, that's great. Now, what I want you to do real quick, because we don't want to run out of time. This is so wonderful, Rick, okay?
Okay.
I want you right now on this show, I want you to tell the listeners how they can send those photographs to you. And yes, Lacey J. Dalton was very excited, called me yesterday morning to tell me about your plans and that she had indeed given you approval. I'm so excited. Tell the listeners around the world right now how they can get a hold of you and send you pictures of the Wild Mustang.
Well, I've got several addresses here, and I can give you my Facebook, which I am already posting some pictures on of paintings that I've already done that are going to be uploaded on that site, and that is facebook.com/ that is Rick, R-I-C-K, Unger Artist, that's UNGERARTIST, and my email is R-I-C-K, it's Rick, at ungerart.com, UNGERART.com.
And they
I
could
give you
send a
the-
photo just as an attachment?
Yes,
Okay.
that's an attachment, and of course, if you don't send a real high resolution, I may need to contact the person back for, depending on what type of painting I'm doing, whether it's the realistic style or the contemporary style that I'm also working on. But my address, physical address, is box 812, Pagosa Springs, Colorado. That's PAGOSASPRINGS, Colorado. It's 81147.
That's awesome news. That is really exciting. And what you're going to do is you're going to have a print that you're going to put up for sale. And you mentioned that part of the proceeds is going to go to benefit an organization, a wild horse organization. Is that correct?
Right. This organization and any organization can print on the website to choose from, and it probably be Monday. I'm thinking Monday. And I got one I am painting as we speak for all you Bronco fans out there. And this is done a little bit different. And it's called Bronco Feel the Thunder. And I've taken several horses from the southwest area of Colorado just to use as a model. This time it's not just one horse, to combine together, and I've created something a little bit different than all my other paintings for all those Bronco fans out there. And the plan is, by this weekend, is to upload that to a Denver station and see if we get some response there. And I will say, it's also to benefit the wild horse.
Well, you know,
Wonderful.
with tongue-in-cheek, I can't let this go past, okay? Chip in Denver, Colorado just wrote in and said, can you have one of those Denver Broncos be trampling Sherman, the defensive player from the Seattle Seahawks? Now, that was kind of cruel, but we had to say it tongue-in-cheek. I think that's absolutely great. Now, we're running out of time. You know, we want to invite you, if you don't mind, Rick, to please stay online. You know, we're wrapping up this particular show for all of our listeners on Fox News Radio as well as Native Voice One radio stations nationwide. But if you'd be kind enough to stay online, when we start show number 2 for Mustang Matters for our listeners around the world, we'll kick it off with Rick Unger. Would that be okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now, listeners, let me tell you what I want you to do. I want you to stay seated. Those of you listening on Fox News Radio, our flagship, 99.1 FM Talk, that concludes this Mustang Matters for this week. Please remember, 11 a.m. every single solitary Thursday, Wednesday, right here in the Reno Town Mall. Come join us. I'm here every day, but it's Wednesday for Mustang Matters. Come join us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
This is Eddie Ford of American.
Okay, kids. Now what we'll do when we come back in, and I'll tag it, we'll throw in some of the Hidden Valley spots with the
And that's simply by going to
website, so people can know. You're gonna kick us off with a prayer and with the
You go Eagles.
Eagles aren't in it. We're talking about walking
Oh,
eagles.
Seahawks.
We're talking about walking eagles.
Sea chickens.
Sea chickens. Hey, Bobby, can I
Absolutely.
talk to Bobby Joe? Bobby Joe?
Yeah.
Bobby Joe? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hey, Bobby Joe, can you hear me?
He's talking.
Yes, sir, I
Okay,
can.
good. All right, I didn't know if it was Rick or you answering. Hey, listen, this is Mustang Matters, or do you have a comment or question on Mustang Matters? You
Oh,
know?
I just wanted to congratulate you guys on the show and also the killing thing, because I think I told you in the 70s.
20, 15 seconds, we gotta go.
Hold on.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
We're starting off in 10
All right,
seconds. Here we go.
yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, listeners, you're absolutely right. When you hear that song, it means another episode of Mustang Matters, heard on Native Voice One radio stations nationwide, coast to coast, border to border, and as Joanne Spotted Bear likes to say,
Res to res.
that's right, a member of the Pine Ridge Reservation. We always like to start Mustang Matters off with a little American Indian flute, Native American flute music, as well as a prayer in her native tongue, Lakota. Joanne, take it away.
Thank you very much, Eddie. At this time, I'd like to remember those Seahawks. I meant those Mustangs.
All right. Ooh.
Atewa kanta tikashila oshimailo omakiayo. At this time, I want to say thank you for this day. Thank you for all of our relatives, and bless our four-legged animals and all of our animals out there. Atewa kanta tikashila. Thank you for this opportunity to be on the radio with Eddie and Lacey, Sharon, and all of our guests. Atewa kanta tikashila wopla oshimailo omakiayo. Ho matakiase.
All right, thank you for that, Joanne Spotted Bear. Listeners, this is Mustang Matters. Now, remember, you can join us. We're at the Reno Town Mall. Actually, get behind the microphone. You can text us. We have a brand new text number. That is 775-557-5120. Or, yes, please call us. That number's 855-790-TALK. Now write it down, 855-790-8255. You know, we heard that beautiful American Indian flute music by Joanne Spotted Bear, so I think it's without saying, and also very fitting, that our next caller to Mustang Matters happens to be a world-renowned jazz harmonicist, and that is Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe, you're live on Mustang Matters.
Well, it's a pleasure. I just wanted to call you good people and congratulate you on such a wonderful show. And I wanted to, I mentioned it to Ed, but I did own Arab horses back in the 70s, and a very standing issue was the killing of those horses. And so congratulations on getting that the law changed. And good luck to you all.
Hey, Bobby Joe,
Thank you.
thanks for calling.
Thank
More
you.
importantly, thanks for being a part of America Matters Media family of talk shows. Bobby Joe's goal, by the way, is to teach musical instruments to the elderly, senior citizens in the nation, as well as our youth. So, Bobby Joe, thanks for calling Mustang Matters. And Shannon, if I'm not mistaken, and listeners, we do have Joanne Spotted Bear. You heard her at the beginning of this particular show. But also hosting today's Mustang Matters, we have world-famous author Terry Farley on set with president of the Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund, Shannon Wendell. So, Shannon, again, if I'm not mistaken, you have a very, very special guest on the line with us, too.
We sure do, and thank you, everybody out there for listening in today. We appreciate that you're there. Thank you to America Matters Media for allowing us to be here and bringing word of the plight and the joys of our American horses, whether they're domestic, wild, or otherwise, burros and mules.
Amen.
And thank you so very much. We appreciate being here and getting the word out. And do we have
Rick, I believe Rick's still on the line with us. Rick Unger,
I am. I'm right here.
all right, world famous artist online, and those of you who may have just tuned in to Mustang Matters for the very first time, Rick has been sharing with us a plan. Rick, not to be redundant, but if you'd be kind enough, for so many new listeners tuning in to Mustang Matters around the world right now, tell them about your plan again.
Well, what I'm doing is, the plan is to launch a new website. That'll probably be by Monday. It will be up, and I will have initially 10 images on there of oil paintings. People will be able to purchase prints, and 50% of my take from the sale will go to saving the Mustang. And I had spoke with Lacey J. Dalton just yesterday, get an okay on this. I'm having a contest because I need photographs of these fine horses, and I know many people out there and all over the country take horse pictures, and of course they have to be wild horses. But I am doing a lot of my pictures, my paintings are named after songs, and I'm working on many of them right now. But Lacey said that I could paint a Let 'Em Run painting, which is one of her songs. And what I need in the contest, I want people to send me pictures. And when I choose the right one that fits best to Let 'Em Run, I will give them a 27 by 36 inch print, artist in hand. I will paint on it, artist in hand, or sign it, and that will be the first prize. And I want to announce that on March 12th, who the winner is. But all your pictures that you feel that would make a great painting, please send to me. And I'm looking for all styles of pictures, whether it's horses running, standing birds, close-up pictures, interactions, and horses and so on.
Rick, this is Terry Farley. I just want to thank you. I write books for kids, and one of the things that I've been trying to underline is that the great thing about the internet is it is bringing all the skills of all the advocates together. Your skill is your art. My skill, my stories. Young people like Robin Warren, and who's got the Youth Equine Alliance group, has her heart and her total identification with wild horses. We have people who are computer experts. We have people who are statisticians. Everybody has a piece of saving these wild horses with their own skills. And I know a lot of my readers worldwide love the art of the wild horse. So thank you very much for what you're doing.
Well, thank you, and it kind of reminds me of a song by Diana Ross, Reach Out and Touch Someone, and that is what we want to do. We want to reach more people and touch more people so that they join in, and we can make everybody aware of what needs to be done, because these creatures are almost human-like in their feelings, just as we see interact amongst each other, and that is what I want to portray in art.
Isn't that the truth? There is so much that we can gain from keeping this heritage alive on the range and not ending up in a museum somewhere where we take our grandchildren to say, oh yeah, there used to be such a thing as a horse. And
Yeah.
Preserving what we've got up there is just so critical. Preserving them, you're absolutely right. They're fascinating. It's a wonderful experience to spend time with these horses. You realize how intelligent they are, what an incredible family structure they have, and how that family structure interacts. We recently had, and I'll talk a little bit more in length about this, 15 horses removed about 2 weeks ago from one of our communities. And I spoke to one of the residents there just yesterday, and she commented on how the other horses in that community were on edge and acting different because they know that part of their family is no longer, they can't find them. And when you realize things like this, you realize how special and precious this wonderful gift is. And I want to say
It's true.
thank you so very much for, as Terry said, stepping in and doing what you can to help the horses. We would really
Thank you.
appreciate that.
You
Well,
know,
more people to send in. So,
yeah, Rick, as a matter of fact, Rick, I don't mean to step on you, but let me share with you right now. Chastain in New Mexico, okay, Red River, New Mexico, happens also to be the home of Michael Martin Murphy. And she just wrote in on text and said, Eddie, if you don't mind, please have this gentleman, Mr. Unger, listen to Michael Martin Murphy's song, Kill Pins, okay? And
you know what? I gotta tell you something.
Yes.
One of my paintings, the next painting I'm doing after Broncos painting is Wildfire.
Oh, wonderful, okay. Absolutely, well, you know what? Murph is gonna love that. As a matter of fact, I'll be in contact with him later this afternoon with a...
Are you serious? Because I was going to do, his wife I know handles a lot of the.
Karen. Karen, yeah.
Karen does, yes.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to let her know. So I'll let you let her know for me that I'm going to start on that painting probably the end of the week.
I'll do it.
It's going to be a black horse and it will be Wildfire.
Well, you know what? Bless your heart. I'll tell you what, I'll let Karen and Murph know this afternoon. I also want to thank our gentleman for texting in, and I think that's wonderful. Also, Chastain, this is for you, Terry Farley, and then we'll get back to Shannon and the rest of the set here. But Chastain writes in from Salt Lake City, Utah, said, my mother was raised on your books, okay? And she says, I'm a new mother too. How can I get a hold of your books?
Oh my goodness. Well, you can go to any bookstore. You can also go to my website, phantomstallion.com or terryfarley.com. And if you go to phantomstallion.com, you can click on any of the book covers and it will take you to amazon.com or to an independent bookstore. And you can buy them that way. And they're in Kindle as well as print. So thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you, Chastain. Joanne, you wanted to say something to Rick or someone?
Yes, I have a shout out that I'd like to do.
Go ahead, dear.
Oh,
Do it
okay.
again. Say it again.
I have a shout out I'd like to do. Dolly Parton, is she still in the area by chance?
I'm not sure if she's left the area. Yes, she's still in the area, Chris.
Great.
Hey, Dolly Parton, happy birthday to you, 925. Wait, oh,
Okay, there you go. Stop dancing. Stop dancing. There you go. Happy birthday, Dolly Parton.
And she's
Okay.
great on first book literacy. She's doing some wonderful things getting kids to read.
You know, and that's so
Oh
important.
my
You know,
goodness,
it's so
absolutely, isn't it?
important.
Isn't it? Absolutely. You know, Rick, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much. And I believe to take part in this contest for the Let 'em Run oil painting, they can get in touch with you and send their photographs to Rick at ungerart.com. That's Rick at UNGERART, ungerart.com. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wonderful. Well, let's see if we can't
Absolutely.
drum up a ton of pictures.
All around the world.
Yeah, all around the, anybody,
It would
be
great.
anybody can send in their, but they have to be wild horses.
You better
right?
believe
They have to be wild horses. They have to back up with their wild horses.
So we don't want any horses with halters or.
No
right.
rub marks over the nose.
And by the way, Rick, I want to thank you for being an integral part of the Mustang Matters shows that you've been involved in. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work, and remember, you matter to us here at Mustang Matters. So keep up the great work and call in anytime on future shows right here at the Reno Town Mall, and that's 11 a.m. every single Wednesday. Thanks again, Rick Unger, for the call.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you much.
All right, listeners, that was Rick Unger, famous worldwide artist, and he called 855-790-8255. You can do the same thing. It is toll free. You know what, Shannon, I do want to take advantage of Terry being here on this show as well, because a lot of breaking news in southern Nevada right here. Brand new show and brand new breaking news. So Terry, take it away.
All right, I just got back last night from Southern Nevada, and most people think, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but that's not happening today.
I love it.
We have some BLM news and some,
It's Bureau of Land Management.
Bureau.
The people who supposedly manage the wild horses.
right, and the public lands, they're not BLM lands. They are public lands. They belong to you if you're in the US, any place. And two incredible but a little bit contradictory things. One, Tule Springs is an area that during the Ice Age was home to all kinds of amazing Ice Age animals, from mammoth, you know, huge shaggy elephants with curly cool tusks, to horses. And that land had already been, it was already to the point where there were public meetings going on, getting ready to release this Tule Springs land to the city of Las Vegas for freeways. When three women stepped up and said, hey, this is history that can't be replaced. We have plenty of freeways. We don't have so many fossils of Ice Age creatures. Okay, BLM has started working with, we've got bipartisan support. Harry Reid and Dean Heller are supporting the idea of having the first Ice Age fossil national park really nearby. Within about a 20-minute drive, there is, on BLM land again, a herd of horses called the Cold Creek herd. Those horses have been there for a long time. I tried to trace it back this weekend, and I've got back to the late 1800s. So those horses have been there a while.
Oh.
They are very close. I mean, it's a short drive to the Las Vegas Strip, to a world that is the Old West in all it's really natural glory. However, now, BLM just came out with a folder saying where you can watch wild horses. They mentioned the Cold Creek herd. And we'll put that brochure up on the website. It's really pretty cool. But I have the feeling it's see them before they're all gone, because BLM has slated a roundup of the Cold Creek horses. 500 horses is what they're looking at. Now, the people who are documenting these horses, who are writing down every foal that is born, said there's a maximum of 250 horses there.
How do you round up?
Yeah, how do you round up 500? I think you round up as many as you can
I
find.
think it's
No, not at all.
Mismanagement?
Mismanagement,
Ah,
that's
there we
possible.
go.
So I think it would be incredible, and it looks like the National Ice Age Park is gonna pass. I think it would be so amazing to have this whole panorama of the wild horse. We start with the fossils, and then there's a 20-minute drive to where the real wild horses are. That would be appealing to people from around the world, and it is an incredibly low-cost form of tourism.
Absolutely, what an awesome idea.
And there are
I wonder if
people
we
who are
can get
excited
this-
about that.
Get people involved, and we're gonna have to find out how we can get people to, who they can contact and put.
Our legislators are going to be considering the Ice Age Park next week. And I will try to get the
Yeah, was that
The
a state
Senate
thing?
bill,
It's a-
no,
it's a
it's,
federal thing.
it's federal, it's national parks.
You know, Terry, what perfect timing, if you could get that to me, dear, okay, since
Right,
I'll be
I will.
headed to Washington DC on your, Shannon's, and so many others' behalf, you know, to carry the message back there, you give me the exact Senate bill number.
I will.
The SB number, and we'll make sure we follow up on it, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, Joanne?
Isn't there a meeting coming up on the 24th too for all Nevada future senators are running?
I'm not familiar with
We
that meeting.
talked about that last month on the radio. I
Yeah,
believe it was on
I'm
the
not
AM
familiar with
News.
that meeting. I know there's a meeting of the counties that we
Yes,
need to
that's
get
the
involved
one.
in. there's a meeting of the
Yes.
counties, that's probably what you're.
Yes,
Oh,
that's on the
Yeah,
24th.
association.
The ones that are suing the BLM for
Exactly,
mismanaging the horses.
that's right.
Right.
Well, Shannon, I would love to go with you.
Well, watch out, we might have another Indian war going on here.
That's okay.
You know, anything to
That's okay,
save
we
the
probably
horses.
need it, Terry, we probably
Yeah.
need it in America. All right, listeners, remember, get a hold of us, join us, Reno Town Mall, text us, a brand new text number, 775-557-5120, or please call us toll free, it's 855-790-8255. If you just tuned in, we were talking earlier in this show to Rick Unger, and I did have a couple texts, Shannon, where people said, could you please give us Rick's number? I have some wild horse photos I would like to send in and be a part of that contest.
Terrific. I wrote it down. Is email where you can attach your pictures to an email and send it to him at Rick, that's R-I-C-K, at ungerart.com, and that's spelled U-N-G-E-R-A-R-T, all one word, Rick at ungerart.com. Take part in this little contest to choose it, for him to choose a picture that will go with the title Let 'Em Run, which is our fabulous friend and Wild Horse Advocate's famous song, Lacey J. Dalton.
Amen.
And that is so cool. I really think this is a fun way for people to get involved.
And you know, more and more people, Shannon, seem to be getting involved. And I don't mean just like myself, the common folk. I mean, you know, artists. I mean, authors. I mean, entertainers of all kinds are getting involved because let's face it, you know, Shannon, Terry, and Joanne, you know, over 80% of Americans nationwide, coast to coast, border to border, and like Joanne likes to say,
Res to res.
that's right, reservation to reservation, they absolutely care about preserving our American heritage, the wild horses and burros.
They sure do, Eddie, and you are so spot on right. What does that say, 80%? I think that's the majority of us, right?
Amen.
So why
I'm not
are
a
we
statistician,
fighting?
but that sounds
Why
right.
do we have to fight to protect our horses when we, the majority, want them protected? We need to stand up. We need to voice our opinions. You know what? That doesn't cost a dime. There are so many different ways that you, the public, can do that without spending a dime. You can get on the website for the ASPCA.org. Right in the middle of their main homepage is a beautiful picture of a horse. Click on that link underneath it. That'll take you to one of their pages that gives you all sorts of information, how you can make a difference. Speak your voice, call, send an email. On our website, hiddenvalleyhorses.com. Go to our links page. You can click on several links there. GovTracks.USA, I believe it is. They have so much information available to you, the public, how you can find out who your senator and congressman are, how you can contact the committee that is holding the SAFE Act up. The SAFE Act is Safeguard America's Food Exports Act. Effectively, that's going to stop American horses, whether they're domestic or wild, from leaving our country. Right now, the President, Senate, Congress, they have all signed a bill that is defunding any money to support horse slaughter in this country. We need to take it one step further. We need the SAFE Act enacted. We need to get it out of committee. It's sitting there languishing. I feel confident as soon as we can get it out of the committees, it's in both the Senate and the House of Representatives committees. Once we get it onto the floor, I know that there are enough senators and congressmen who will vote that into a bill or into an act, and it will become law. And no longer will we have to discuss American horse slaughter. Our horses will no longer be heading south and north across our borders into Canada and Mexico and going through a nightmare situation before they actually die. It's horrid. Absolutely. Joanne?
I have a question, and that question, Sharon, is sorry.
Shandle
That-
works,
that-
Shannon Wendell, and it works.
Whatever.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Your question.
My question is, what's good for the horse should always be good for the buffaloes and all animals included. Because as Native American Indians, we love our buffaloes too, just as much as we love the wolves, are all animals, and this should be is
And
good
they
for
should be treated with respect
and protected.
and honored for what they are, intelligent, good beings.
You know, as a matter of fact, it's funny you said that, because, you know, there was no, quote, real Lakota, meaning a Sioux name for the horse. You know, and they called them, the closest, if you will, translation is sacred dog, because to the Native Americans, to our American Indians, to our Lakotas, to our Dakotas, to our Nakotas, which are the three Sioux that make up the Sioux Nation, you know, the horse was sacred, absolutely.
Yeah, we called them Shuka Waka, the sacred four-legged animal.
Oh my gosh, and they are so precious. They are
They're
so
your best
intelligent.
friend.
Absolutely. And wild horses, they are so unique. They are so intelligent, so tuned in. I tell people time and time again when we see them on the range, the horses that are out there on the range are the smart ones. It's the survival of the
A
fittest.
super Mustang.
Exactly. The survival of the fittest, the survival of the smartest. They need to be constantly aware and learn from their other family members so that they can survive. And we have found recently, unfortunately, in our herd, we have lost a couple of horses. And one of them, most recently, Jeff's mom, she died just before Christmas. And the vet checked her out and discovered that she was well into her 20s. I never would have dreamed that a wild horse could live that long. That is strength, inner fortitude, and quite remarkable.
One thing I'd like to add, this is Terry. Carol from ASPCA said that the best thing we can do is call our legislators. I know that there are people out there going, oh, that's too hard, it's really scary. Do this, go to ASPCA, read your script, call your legislator. If you think you are scared, then you have never seen a horse in a slaughter ring.
Oh my
It
gosh,
is
yes.
terrifying. I've been with Shannon when we've watched these domestic horses who have depended on us their entire lives, and all of a sudden, they're being thrown into hell. You think you're scared? If your voice shakes when you call your legislator's office, oh well. Read something, call, and stand up for those horses.
Absolutely. Well said, Terry. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
You know, Shannon, I'm looking out in the audience right now. We only have like 2.5 minutes left here on Mustang Matters. I see Big Jim Rigger. Now, there's a perfect example. You know, he actually came out, you know, to the Winding Ranch, saw a horse that was owned by Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund, and said, you know what, I want to, if you will, sponsor this horse and eventually adopt it for my grandson. That's how it works. It's that simple. How do people get a hold of you at Hidden Valley?
Well, thank you, Eddie. We do have quite a few horses that we are in the process of getting gentled and trained. And you can contact us at hiddenvalleyhorses.com. Right now, we have 15 horses that we picked up from one of our communities in South Fremont that we are desperately asking for donations, raising donations and funds so that we will be able to free them from prison. They're literally being held down at the prison in Carson City, and we want to rescue them. And there are 7 mares with their 7 babies,
Aww.
and the stallion, who is now, I'm sure, a gelding. And you bet your bottom dollar those 7 mares are pregnant. 99% sure they're all pregnant. So there's going to be another 7 babies. Our goal is to raise $25,000. I know that that's a lot of money. It sounds like a lot. But when we consider the number of horses that we're going to have to support over the next year, we're really reaching out. And we want to do the right thing. We want you to help us. Contact us. Donate at hiddenvalleyhorses.com. And give us a call. You can call me at area code 775-297-2955. We really appreciate you listening in today. We really appreciate America Matters Media for allowing us to be here. I want to thank Joanne Spotter there for coming with us today and co-hosting. Terry Farley flew in from Las Vegas Thank you so much for coming and bringing all this wonderful news. Eddie, thank you.
Oh, always.
Thank you so very much for letting us be here.
And
Appreciate it.
listeners, it's Mustang Matters. It's every Wednesday at 11 a.m. right here in the Reno Town Mall. Come meet these wonderful people in person. Hey, we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
It's
Bye.
already
Bye.
done,
Have a good
already
one.
over with, Eddie said the last word. As soon as Eddie says goodbye, it's over with.
over.
The light's closed.
We got the message. Hi, kids.
Because I don't know, I can't see
All right,
anybody else's.
tell
when it's-
Sherry,
but I can't see anybody else's face to.
Let me move this out of the way.
Okay, hold on. Thank you. God bless.
Good, hey, by the way, kids, two really, really good shows, two really good shows.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know what you were listening to, Eddie.
Huh?
Glad you got here all right.
It'd be good if I wasn't on it, but